Where I'm at now is I am about to put some RTV here and some on the other side right there, and line up my gasket for the front cover and install the front cover, as well as the low pop gears and the front main seal. It's not that hard to match up. You know, you just look and match up the holes. So if I hold that there, it matches up to that hole, that hole, that hole. You get the point. There's a dowel pin that goes in here to help you align that. And another one here. Okay, so after putting my little bead of T31 on the left and right side of the front of the crankshaft, where the gasket meets the block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm counting 17 bolts on this front cover. If I missed one, my bad. But there's just a lot of them. And whenever you're trying to take this front cover off with the engine in the truck, giant pain in the ass. So I'm going ahead and putting this back on with the engine out of the truck. And I'm going to tighten these up, and I'm going to do the low pop gears, and I'll be back. I'm about to get the front cover for the low pop. It has the front main seal on it, and then water pump goes there. All right, so be very careful here because we are tightening into aluminum again. So I'm going to guess that the torque for those is probably somewhere around 18 to 23 foot-pounds. I will put it up on the screen, obviously, whenever I edit this video, but you see I'm holding the wrench like I was talking about, where I don't put too much leverage on the handle. And look at that. Didn't over-torque it. Told you guys, it works perfect. With the O-ring on there and the freeze plug down, that's the way it goes with the freeze plug down. So if you are still continuing to watch, I just want to go ahead and thank you for continuing to watch, because this has been a very long and tedious process. I said screw it. I went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put the headers on. Make sure to get your brand new gasket. It's should be metal gasket, just like your head gasket is metal. We got a 10 millimeter, and I'm going to zip these up, and I'll put the torque specs somewhere on the screen for you. Alright, so welcome back, guys. We're going to do this rear main seal real quick because I got my cousin coming over. We're going to put this engine back in the truck. So I got my brand new rear main seal. Obviously, the side that has this indentation right here is the inside part. So this goes on the outside. I'm not installing this yet because I'm going to put some red Loctite on the inside of the rim of this rear main seal. Alright, so let me get my Loctite and let me do that real quick, and let me see if I can actually show you. Looks just about perfect to me, guys. Okay, so we gotta get this plate on now, and there is a hole right here to match up to your dowel pin that's on the rear of the crankshaft. Okay, so this presses on, so we're gonna have to use the flywheel to press this back on, if I can get it to stay in place like that. All right, let's see if we can manage to do this. Got to hold it on there with one hand and get some of these bolts started. Okay, so I got all those down and I bottomed them down, and I'm gonna draw them back out and put blue Loctite on all of those threads. And then the torque sequence, I found it online. It was go smartphone. 40. Okay, so the torque is 44 and then 69 foot-pounds. All right, so let me get my torque wrench and I'll be right back. Alrighty, the flywheel is on, so shit, guys, it's ready to go back in the truck, I think. So as soon as my cousin gets here, we can commence this this install. I'll be back. Okay, so there's no viewing hole on the bottom of the bell housing, so you can't use your finger to line up the studs on the torque converter with the holes in the flywheel. So it was just a huge pain in the butt. I had to literally lay down where my face was looking directly up between the bell housing of the transmission and the flywheel, so that I could get it as close as possible while my two cousins were working the jacks and jacking up the transfer case and the transmission so we could get it all lined up. Again, took like 6 hours, so all right. So then we put on our AC compressor, and we took our wiring harness that was all laid over here, we laid it back across, we plugged in our crankshaft sensor, and then we plugged in our AC compressor and reconnected the positive wires for our starter that is behind your AC compressor. And then we reconnected the power steering pump. Both of those I laid to the side and did not disconnect because I didn't want to have to redo any of those fluids or recharge the AC system. All right, if you look down here, I got my ground for the engine on the front of the block, and then there's also one on the back of your passenger head that goes to the firewall over here. You want to get both of those grounds hooked up. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm not going to hook up my belts and my fan and all that crap because I need to make sure that I run all of these all your fuel lines and everything back the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to install my oil cooler and my intake manifold, because like underneath here there's a screen that filters the oil again before it goes into your high pressure oil pump. Well, those, if you've taken your oil cooler off once or twice, you're going to realize that the screens fail all the time. I've personally replaced 3 of them. So this company, IPR Research, makes this. It is a stainless steel mesh and stainless steel body for that screen, and it also has an O-ring around the edge to seal the seal down in that where it goes, which the factory does not have that. So I figured, what the hell, this thing was only like $79, and if you have to keep buying these and replacing them, I think they're $15-ish or something like that. But this one should never fail again, so it should be the last one I ever have to buy, and then I don't have to worry about dirt and stuff going into my injectors. I got to get this sat in there, and then I'll get the oil cooler in, and I will be back. Okay, so we got the oil cooler in like I said I was going to. I put that IPR Research screen in there. We put our turbo pedestal mount in. We went ahead and put in the intake manifold and our Y-pipe. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my IPR sensor in, and then I'm going to put in the oil filter housing. That way I can get all of my fuel lines and everything ran and tightened up, and then it'll just be putting the rest of this thing together. And all right, so just where the Y pipe connects to the down pipe, I've got the bolts in there, and they're not tight. I'm gonna leave that loose for whenever I put the turbo in. I got all of my fuel lines reconnected, and obviously my oil filter housing and fuel filter housing, that's all one piece, so it's there. I think I'm gonna get my radiator hoses on. Well, I'm gonna get my intercooler and my radiator in, and then I'm gonna get my radiator hoses ran, and I will be back, guys and gals. So that skid plate right there, right above it is my transfer case, and the mounts for the transmission are right there on that transmission mount. So we loosened those bolts, and we also took the drive shaft bolts out right there, and then the carrier bearing is over there. And we loosened all that and pushed the transmission back as far as as it would allow, because like there was still piping connected to the transmission. But that was how we got it in. I got a oil filter that it was about $180 or so, but it's from a company. What are they called? K&P Engineering. So it's a stainless steel, like it's a medical grade stainless steel micronic oil filter. And it's cleanable and reusable. So it's the last oil filter you'll ever buy. It's high flow, so you can flow up to 7 times more oil through this element than you can a paper element. And I read on their website that it filters at a minimum 35 microns. And well, obviously it's environmentally friendly because we get to clean it and reuse it over and over and over again. It's not just thrown away like waste. But let me show it to you. Here we are. So since I can't start my truck until I get a new starter, we can't do that yet. So this will be the end of this video, and this will go up. And the next video will be a cost breakdown, what you could have left out and what you could add, kind of stuff like that. Anyways, guys, thanks as always. Peace.